Hello my dear students. So today we will learn about the control and coordination chapter, and under that the third subtopic, that is coordination in plants. So till now we have studied about the coordination in the animals. There we have studied that control and coordination in the case of animals is done by the nervous system and muscular system. But in the case of plants, they don't have nervous as well as muscular. Now how they show the movements? कैसे होते हैं? Now in the case of plants, there are two types of movements. That is the dependent on growth and independent of growth. Fine. So even they show the movements. But few that depends on the growth and other don't depend upon the growth. Now here we will discuss two simple examples. And there is one word, tropism, or tropic movements or nastic movement. Now what is this tropic movement and nastic movement? As I said, they are the movement, that is, one is dependent on growth. So that is the tropic movement. And the movement which not depend upon the growth, that is nastic movement. See, very simple example. I think you have seen the touch me not plant. In Hindi we call as chui mui. Okay, so when we touch the leaves, immediately those leaves folds, isn't it? Now what happened? There is an immediate response to the stimulus. That is in the case of nastic. Now this one I have drawn the diagram of the leaf. That is the touch me not plant leaf. And here you can see the lower portion like this, and then the upper, the leaf portion. And this is called the pulvinus. Fine. Now what happened? Here the cells are there and intercellular spaces are there. Two diagrams I have drawn, one and the second one. Right? Now here you can see these intercellular spaces, they are filled with the water. They are turgid, full. As because of that, the leaves are rigid. They are in open condition. Now as soon as we touch this sensitive plant, touch me not, as soon as we touch the stimulus, that is the stimulus in this case is touch, finger touch. Okay. So that is in the form of impulses that reach up to the pulvinus. Now what happened here? Pulvinus, the water from the inner side of this one, that moves out and shifted to the outer side like this. Okay. Pulvinus, this is the pulvinus, this is midrib. Now the water will shift from here to here. So what happened? The inner side will become close, near to the main stem, here, this one. And the outer side become more turgid, like this, that will swell. And this one shrink, inner side shrink. Water will move out. Why? Because of the touch. So because of that touch, sensitive plant send the impulses to this pulvinous portion, the movement of water done, and the leaves come to the near to the main, this one, main part of this one stem. So what happened? The leaves close. Why? Because we have touch. So this is the very immediate response to the stimulus. The stimulus is touch. So this is called thigmonastic movement. Now another one is thigmotropism. Okay. Now here what happened? See, and one more thing, here you can see growth of the plant is not taking place. Just because of the touch, the stimulus that send the impulses, the movement of water, and then the leaves close. Right? Now in the case of thigmotropism, here you have seen the climbers. Okay. Now what happened? When these climbers, they get the support. So the side of the stem which is away from the support, that will receive the hormone, and that is called auxin, plant hormones. I will tell you later on what is this. Okay, plant hormone, and that will promote the cell division and cell elongation. So what happened? Immediately the outer side of this side of the stem that start growing fast as compared to the inner side which is very near to the support. So this stem will move towards this support. Suppose I will draw here once more. Okay, this is the support and here is the climber. Okay, now leaves. Now this side of the stem will receive the auxin, start cell division, the growth will take place, the stem, the tendril stem will move toward the support and it will come this side. Then when it will come here, then the auxin will come at the opposite side of the support. Then the cell division and cell elongation will take place. The tendril will move toward the support. In this way, that slowly, what happened? That move on the support, and that is because of the touch only, touch of the support. So auxin, the hormone that release or that is promote the cell division opposite to the support. Fine. So this is called Hydrotropism. Now I will tell you the exact difference between the nastic and the tropic movement. Nastic one, not a directional movement. Means here, as soon as we touch the leaf or the plant anywhere at that position, so immediately water will move out, the leaves will close. Here the directional movement, direction, that is the support. So opposite to the support, auxin is releasing cell division, and then the stem or the tendril will clinch on the support this way. Okay. Now next is thigmonastic. This one is thigmonastic. This one is Hydrotropism. Okay. Now stimulus is touch. Here also stimulus is touch. Here touch of the support. Here we have touched this sensitive plant. Now not growth movement. Nastic. This one is not the growth. This is a quick response to the stimulus. This is the growth movement because cell division and cell elongation is taking place opposite to the support, so that the tendril will bend. Now here stimulus will not determine the direction of movement. Anywhere at the plant you touch, immediately the leaves. So that stimulus will not determine the direction of movement. But here stimulus determine the direction of movement. Why? Because support is this side, so the hormones will be opposite side, cell division, cell elongation. Fine? So that's why the stimulus determine the direction of movement. So this is the main difference between the nastic and tropic movement or thigmonastic. I have written here thigmonastic or Hydrotropism. So this is a comparative study because now we will study in detail about the tropism that you have in your syllabus in the 10th class. Only the one example they have, that is about the touch me not, they have discussed in your NCERT book also. So this is the mechanism by which the leaves close in the case of touch me not as soon as we touch. So these are the growth movement in the plants. Not growth movement, this is a growth movement, or we can say this is an independent of growth, this is dependent on growth. Okay. Now come to here, tropism. That is the bending or movement of a part of plant in response to the external stimulus. That is called tropism. Fine. And that is dependent on growth. Fine. Now there are different types of tropism. What are those? Phototropism, chemotropism, hydrotropism, geotropism. Fine. So here we will discuss each and every type of example so that easily, because in the board exam sometimes they ask that explain or give any one example of chemotropism for 1 mark, or else explain the geotropism for the shoot and the root. Right. So in this way you have to 3 marks or 1 mark they ask the question. Okay, the first one is a phototropism. So as the name indicate, photo means light, dependent on light. So if the movement is because of the light. Now phototropism, here I have drawn one diagram. One closed room, dark room, and only from one place the sunlight is coming, entering into that room. Now what happened, we will keep one plant in this one. After 2 to 3 days, you can see the stem is bending towards the light. And after 3 to 4 days, you can see the plant will bend this side. So that shows that because of the light, here the stimulus is light. Because of the light, shoot is bending towards this one. Fine? Because the whole side, all other sides are totally dark. Only from here the light is entering. So this is called phototropism. So because of the light stimulus, plant is showing movement. Now here also movement, this one is a growth movement. Why? Because what I said, because later on I will tell you the function of each and every type of hormones. However, there are 5 major types of hormones in the case of plant. That is auxin, cytokinin, gibberellin, ethylene and abscisic acid. So what happened here also, light coming from here, so opposite side of the stem, the auxin will come and that start the cell division and cell elongation. So here this side will stem grow faster, and if grow faster, that will bend toward this one. So we can also say that auxin is also called as a shade lover hormone. So this side is shade and here the sunlight. So opposite side. They are opposite to the support. So in this way, this is an example of phototropism. This activity they have given in your textbook. So you can go through later on. Fine. Okay, next is a chemotropism. Means the movement in the case of plants with the help of chemicals. The stimulus is chemicals. Now, here only one example is their chemotropism. You know that in the flower they have the male and the female parts. Okay. In the case of female, they have the carpel or the pistil, and the three parts are the stigma, style, and ovary. Isn't it? Now what happened? This stigma, style, ovary. When after the pollination, pollen grain from anther and it landed on the stigma. Right? When pollen grain landed on the stigma, then after some time what happened? Pollen tube. It produces the pollen tube. Why? For the fertilization. So this pollen tube will move towards the ovary to release the male gamete so that the fusion fertilization will take place. So this movement of pollen tube, that is from pollen grain to reach up to the ovary, is because of the chemical which is present on the surface of pollen grain and on the stigma. Fine. So because of those two chemical interaction, they develop the pollen tube and male gametes will enter into the ovary for the fertilization. So this movement of pollen tube is because of the chemotropism. So this movement, the stimulus is chemical. Okay. Now next is a hydrotropism. So here the stimulus will be water. Fine. Now here I have shown you one block which is filled with the soil. Okay. Sandy soil, and here one plant is there. Fine. And we are not giving any water to this plant. After 3 to 4 days, then we have inserted one clay block here filled with water, and this is opened from one side. Now what happened? The water will come out here. This portion will become moist. So as we have not given the water to this soil for many days, now what happened? The roots, they start moving toward the water like this. That will bend towards the water to absorb the water and minerals from the soil, because only from one side we are supplying the water. So this bending of the root towards the water, this bending, that is the movement by the roots, and because of water, hydro. So that is a hydrotropism. So this experiment is in the lab or the garden, we can do that one. So that is the bending of the root towards the water is showing the example of hydrotropism. So phototropism, chemotropism, hydrotropism. Now the geotropism. Geo means gravity, the movement because of the gravity. Now here one pot we have taken, okay, and हम उसको slant position में like this we will keep it, and the lower side of the pot we will remove. So loose soil you can see like this, okay, and one small plant is there. Roots also even you can see from the lower side because we have removed the lower part, and this one is a shoot. So in the starting what happened? The first condition is this. Later on, after 3 to 4 days, you can see that will show this. Shoot will go towards upper side and roots will go down. So this shows that geotropism, gravity, roots are positive geotropic. Means roots move towards the gravity, towards the soil. And shoot is a negative geotropic. Means shoot will go away from the gravity. Fine? So shoot is negative geotropic and root is positive geotropic. So this example, this is the best example to explain the geotropism. So that is, this one is a positive geotropic, root because that moving down, and shoot moving up, that is a negative geotropic. So these are the things. So these phototropism, chemotropism, hydrotropism, geotropism. In your textbook also they have given this activity and this one example, and here only 2 to 3 lines they have explained. So you can use this diagram and you can explain the experiment, that is the concept of hydrotropism. So this is, tropism means the bending or movement of a part of the plant because of the external stimuli, and there are different type of Tropism. Please don't be confused with the nastic movement and tropic movement. Only major difference is this: tropic movement is a growth movement and nastic one is not the growth movement. This is a quick response. As we touch, immediately the leaves close. But this one is a growth movement. And whatever the stimulus we are giving, in the case of tropism, see here the stimulus is light, here chemical, here water, here gravity. So from which direction the stimulus is coming, the movement of the plant depend upon that. That's why we say stimulus determine the direction of movement. Clear? So these are the examples. Now come to the plant hormones. Now plant hormones, as I said, there are major 5 types of hormones. But first of all, what are hormones? They are also called as the chemical messengers. Okay. Now chemical substance produced in minute quantity in one part of an organism and transported to other part where it shows the effect. Means whatever the hormones in the case of animals or in the plants, that will be excreted at one place and then it moves to the where it is required. As in the case of the animals, we have the glands, so they secrete the hormone, then it moves wherever it is required through the blood. In the case of the plants also, that is auxin at the tip of the root and shoot, that hormone is secreted. But if it is required, that in this case that is required here, the stem side, so they reach there. There also that come to this portion opposite to the light, then they start the division. So here that's why the hormones, the chemical substance produced in minute quantity in one part of an organism and transported to other part and where it will show the effect. Now what are those hormones in the case of plant? First one is auxin. I have explained the example also for the auxin hormone, this light and the bending of stem toward that support. Right? Now there are many functions are there one by one. First, promote the cell division and elongation. See in both the cases, cell division and cell elongation done by the auxin. Next, used in parthenocarpy. What is this parthenocarpy word? Production of seedless fruit without pollination and fertilization. So that process is called parthenocarpy. So auxin is also used in the parthenocarpy. Promote the production of flowers. If the plant is having lost the capability to produce the flower, so this hormone will help in production of flowers also. Help in bending the shoot towards the light. Fine. This is the function of the auxin. Promote growth of tendril here. So growth of tendril, bending of the stem, production of the flower, parthenocarpy, cell division, cell elongation. These all are the functions of the auxin hormone. Right? Next is the gibberellins. Now what is the function of gibberellins? Stimulate stem elongation. More lengthier. Okay. Now breaking of seed dormancy. What is seed dormancy? Dormancy or dormant means the sleeping stage when the seed is not germinate. Seed will not germinate. So that is, so breaking of the seed dormancy means it will promote the growth of seedling. So breaking it up. Now, promote flowering under unfavorable condition. If the conditions are not favorable and if we give the gibberellin hormone, that will promote the flowering. Seed germination. Naturally, if that breaking the seed dormancy means it will promote seed germination. Promote production of male flower. Because for the fertilization, the plant they need the male gamete as well as the female gamete. So if the male flowers are not there, then that gibberellin will promote the production of male flower. Next is the cytokinin, third hormone. Cell division and cell elongation, that also promote the same thing. Promote production of female flower. The cytokinins help in the production of female flower and gibberellin in the production of male flower. These are the functions of the hormones. Okay. Now ethylene. This promotes the fruit growth and ripening. You know, usually the fruit sellers, they use this hormone. Actually, that is harmful. Sometimes what happens, if they harvested the mangoes or the fruits, whatever, and if they want to ripen very fast so that they can sell in the market, they give the ethylene hormone, this hormone, gaseous form. They close the room and keep the ethylene, release that ethylene gas in the room, and after 1 or 2 days, all the fruits will be ripened. That is harmful for the health, but economically, because farmers will get the benefit. That's why they use. So promote the fruit growth and ripening. Which hormone? Ethylene. Stimulate formation of abscission zone in the leaves, fruits and flowers. Abscission zone, you know what is that? When we pluck the flower, when we pluck the leaf, so there the zone, there the place from where we pull off that leaf को जो break करते हैं, easily that will come out, stem का भी. So that zone, easily we can remove the part of the plant, flower हो, leaf हो, fruits हो. So that zone, that ethylene promotes. Okay. Now cause aging naturally. Okay. Now these cause aging and ripening. So main function is aging and ripening. That is done by the ethylene. Next is the abscisic acid. Okay. Now abscisic hormone, this inhibits the growth. This is the only one hormone which inhibits. So sometimes we also call as this one antioxidant, anti-cytokinin, anti-gibberellin, because these three, they promote growth, cell division, cell elongation, but this one inhibits the growth. Okay. Now reduce transpiration by closing stomata. In some places, if there is a very hot sunny day, okay, now what happened, this hormone will promote the closing of the stomata so that the transpiration will not take place, loss of water will not take place. So that is why it is also called as stress hormone. There, that is very much helpful. So they close, the water loss will not take place and the plant will survive. So in the stress condition, this hormone is helping. So that's why it is called stress hormone. But this one inhibits the growth. Now increase seed and bud dormancy. Increase. ये क्या कर रहा था? Breaking of seed dormancy means promote cell seedling. But here increase means if we want to store, we want to keep those seeds for a longer time, abscisic acid. So that will bring the sleeping stage of the seed. So increase the seed and bud dormancy. That will not show the seedling. That will not show any growth. We can store it, and later on when we need, then we can soak in the water, or else if we give these hormones, that will give the seedling. So this one actually inhibits the growth, increase the seed and bud dormancy, but this is also called as stress hormone. Sometimes it helps in closing the stomata to reduce the transpiration. So this is all about the plant hormones that also play very important role. So in this whole topic, that is coordination in the plant, how it does, which type of movements are there, what is called the nastic and the tropic movement. The example, that is, this one is thigmonastic and thigmotropism. Thigmo means touch, phototropism, light, chemotropism because of chemical, hydrotropism because of water, geotropism because of gravity. And for each type we have discussed the examples also. Right? Now in the board exam, how they ask the question? So just they ask, what is tropic movement? Explain with the example of the tendril growth on the support. So this one you have to explain. Opposite to the support, the oxygen will initiate or promote the cell division, cell elongation so that it will bend. Then this side, then it will bend like this. Okay. And sometimes phototropism, if the plant is kept in the dark room and from only one side the light is coming, what will happen after 3 days? Then you have to explain phototropism. So such a for 3 marks, if they ask only definition, then for the 1 marks. Okay. In this way, they ask the question. Or else for 3 marks, what are the different functions of the, or what are the different plant hormones, and explain or give the function of any 2. Then you have to tell name of all 5 and any 2 functions you have to, any 2 hormone functions you have to write there. So in this way, they ask question. Not in a 5 marks question. 5 marks if they ask, then bits A, B, C. So small bits are there and then you have to answer it. This one is the case of touch me not plant. How, what is the mechanism, why the touch me not plant close when we touch the leaf. Okay. So in this way the coordination in plant is over. Just have a look of this one.